Now, allow me to introduce the dedicated York International team. First, we have Yojan Lee, who is the International Student Experience Coordinator, overseeing the orientation and transition portfolio. And as previously mentioned, I'm Pari. And here is my colleague Rachel, who is also a student coordinator for the team. We're hoping that by the end of this webinar, you should have a better grasp about the expected cost of living in Canada so you can plan accordingly. We'll also provide details about financial aid options specifically available to international students, as well as to introduce key resources for financial planning to help you make informed financial decisions during your time at York University. Our agenda for the day includes an informative presentation on financial expectations at York University, focusing on what international students can anticipate in terms of cost of living and tuition. And then we'll cover resources available for financial planning. And after that, we'll have a Q&A session to address any concerns you may have, and then wrapping it up with some information about our upcoming webinars and events. We will begin by inviting Karen Warren from the Student Financial Services at York University. The floor is yours, Karen.
Great. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. We're delighted to have you joining us today. As Perry said, my name is Karen Warner. I manage the scholarships and bursaries portfolio here at York University. And today I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview of the types of expenses that you can anticipate, as well as the resources that may be available to you. So some of our scholarships, awards, bursaries, work study program, etc. And I'll end by just talking a bit about how our student account system works. So when you would make payments and how you can make those payments to York. So the first slide just gives you a bit of an overview about tuition costs. These tuition costs are the fees for a full academic year. So if you're coming in for winter, you're looking at about half of what's represented here, depending on your program and depending on your enrollment. So our courses, for the most part, your tuition is paid on a per credit basis. So the amount that you pay is really going to depend on what you enroll in, how many courses you enroll in, how many credits you enroll in. So coming in on a study permit, you are required to be a full-time student, which is for a full academic year, a minimum of 18 credits. And for one term would be a minimum of 9 credits. So the fees that you're seeing here is based on 30 credits for all programs except engineering, which has a 36 credits in its first year. So if you do the math, if you're coming in doing about 9 credits, it's obviously much less than what you see here, but still a significant financial obligation. In addition, of course, to your living costs, or to your tuition, you need to think about living costs. So again, these are just very rough estimates on what you would expect to pay for a full academic year typically, and based on our current fees for residents, et cetera, and meal plan and that. So depending on what your living circumstances will be, you will need to, of course, factor those costs in when you're thinking about budgeting for your academic year this year and moving forward. So in terms of resources and shifting a bit to what we all have to offer to students coming in, for this year, we have a number of automatic entrance scholarships for international applicants, which we're excited about. So students coming in with an average of 80% or higher, high school students or transfer applicants are going to automatically qualify for an entrance scholarship, which is renewable. So in your first year, you are going to get a higher value, so 15,000 if you are admitted with an average of 85% or higher, and at $10,000 for students admitted with an average between 80 and 84.9%. And then those scholarships are going to renew at half the value that you got in your first year, but they are renewable for years 2, 3, and 4. You do need to maintain a 7.5 GPA, which is a B plus average, to be able to renew and continued full-time enrollment. And that renewability will happen automatically. You don't need to do anything at the end of the study period in the summer. Typically, we will assess whether students have qualified for the renewability. The other piece, those they're also regainable. So in the event that at the end of your first year or first term, you have not met that requirement, for the GPA. But in your second year, you manage to bring your average back up, the scholarship would be automatically reinstated. So again, you don't need to do anything. We're monitoring your progress as you're progressing from year to year, and we will automatically reinstate the scholarship if you bring your average up and you then qualify for the renewal. So that we are again very excited to have this to offer to our international students. In terms of when the scholarship will be applied for our winter admits, we are planning to post the scholarships to the accounts in early December so that they will be reflected on your December invoice. But there are a number of conditions that must be satisfied for that scholarship to be applied. So, of course, you must have enrolled in courses for the winter term. You must have paid your required deposit for the admission cycle, so the $2,000 deposit that's required for international students. You must have satisfied all of your admission conditions. So if you have any outstanding admission conditions, that will prevent the scholarship from being applied to your account. So if you have any final transcripts, etc., that we're expecting, we need you to get those in. And lastly, you must be a full-time student. So again, we'll be looking for that minimum 9 credit enrollment for the winter term before the scholarship will be posted. So we will do one posting in December again before the invoices run in December, and then we will look at it again in early January before the January 10th due date. So if you haven't satisfied the conditions by the time we do the December posting, we will pick you up in the subsequent postings, and we will post throughout the month of January as conditions are cleared. We will continue to post those scholarships. So again, I've talked a little bit about this already, the terms and conditions. So you must pay the deposit and pay and have satisfied your conditions, etc. Those scholarships cannot be deferred. So if you, for any reason, are not able to start in the winter and you have to defer your admission to fall of 2026, you will be subject to the scholarship program that is in place at that point of admission, which is slightly different, looks a little bit different in terms of the averages. So if you visit our site, you can see what the scholarship program will be for fall winter 26. These scholarships also can't be held in conjunction with any of our major scholarships. So if anybody here is a student who was a recipient of the President's International Scholarship of Excellence or the Tantanda Via, you would not be getting that automatic extension scholarships on top of those private awards, okay? And lastly, and very important, these international scholarships are for students who are paying international tuition rates only. So in the event that you present any kind of documentation to us that qualifies you to pay domestic tuition, you will lose the scholarship. We will revoke the scholarship, okay? In terms of other opportunities for funding, we do have our in-course of scholarship applications called FAST, the Financial Aid Awards and Scholarships application. This is available every year that you're at York University. You can fill out an application on FAST. And it's comprised of two pieces. It is a student profile. So on the student profile, you will answer a number of questions, some of which are optional, others that we ask you to indicate things like your engagement. So any community work, volunteer work that you've done, any leadership activities that you've been engaged in, you'll have an opportunity to give us information about what you've been involved in and provide us with a bit of a statement there, which is a very important part of the application. Quite frankly, most donor-funded awards, they are looking for students who have been actively engaged and who have demonstrated leadership. So this is not a step that you want to skip. And then the other piece is to provide a need assessment or complete a need assessment form. So again, many of our awards are financial needs based. They do have a financial need criteria. And so we ask you to go to the finances tab of the FAST application and complete the need assessment, which will assess what your level of financial need is. We do have an undergraduate bursary program. Bursaries are largely financial needs based. So all international students who complete the FAST application who demonstrate financial need will automatically be given some consideration for an undergraduate bursary. And then again, we have literally thousands of awards at York University. Many of them, I will admit, are geared towards our domestic student population, but any award that does not explicitly cite any kind of immigration status requirement in the description is open for an international student to be considered for and to apply to. So we do encourage you to apply for our scholarships and awards. And again, these opportunities are open every year. So again, you'll go into the FAST application at the start of every study period, update your student profile if needed, provide us with a new need assessment for the new academic year, and you will be given consideration for any awards that we have available. I saw it flashed up there in the chat. We also do have some emergency support. So we recognize that, you can plan as much as you do, and when you get here, sometimes things happen that you did not anticipate or expect. And so there are some emergency supports also available through York International and centrally through my office. And so the links have been provided there for information on that also. Oh, sorry, am I going backwards here? Let me go forward. There we go. Okay, so any funding that you're receiving from York University will automatically be applied to your York student account to go towards any balance that you have owing. So again, like as I've already indicated with the entrance scholarships, they will be first applied to your student account to reduce any balance that you have. In the event that you receive funding that exceeds what you owe in the term and it creates a credit on your account, you will be eligible to receive a refund for any surplus funds on the account. We don't issue refunds, however, until March. Okay, that's at what point you would be, if you drop a course, there's no longer a refund or a credit on that course drop. So we wait until that date before we issue any scholarship funds to students. So we would encourage you, when you arrive in Canada, one of the first steps you should be taking would be to set up a Canadian bank account. So we have some financial institutions located right on campus, or many that are close to the on-campus area. So set up that Canadian bank account, and then if you visit our refunds page, you can actually provide us with your banking information, which we will keep on file, your Canadian banking information. And that will allow that anytime we have to issue funding to you, we can release those funds as a direct deposit to your bank account. Okay. So that's one thing that you'll want to keep in mind. Again, where applicable, if you've received any kind of renewable award, the renewability for those awards will be assessed in May. Typically, we will notify you at that time whether you have or have not qualified for renewability. But the scholarship funds are always applied towards your fall-winter term. Okay, so even though we're letting you know in May or June that you are eligible for renewal, those funds will not be applied to your student account until August, to be applied towards your fall courses. And then again, we monitor your status. So if you by chance change your tuition code or change your immigration status to domestic, that might impact your scholarships. And if you at any point withdraw from your studies, it would also impact your scholarships. And we reserve the right to reverse scholarships where applicable. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to shift a little bit into employment opportunities. So as well as getting scholarships and awards, it's always wonderful to be able to work and gain some valuable work experience here in Canada. So we have a very robust work study program. We have about 1,900 part-time positions that we offer every academic year to our undergraduate students, and they fall under three unique programs. So we have our RAY, which is Research at York. So if you are engaged in a RAY position, you will work alongside a York faculty member and other graduate and undergraduate students on a research project. We have LEAP, which is our Leadership Engagement and Ambassadorship Program. So students like the ones that you see who have joined us here today, who are supporting York International, students who are engaged in running programs that support other students. These are the types of positions that are available through our LEAP program. And then we have many positions that are available through our general work study program, which is more administrative in nature. So working in any of our administrative offices, supporting our full-time staff. We have many opportunities through our athletics and recreation department hires a lot of students. So there's a lot of opportunity to work while you're on campus and supplement what other resources you have. But their benefits go beyond the wages that you make, the connections that you make at York through working at York. We have seen through our data is very beneficial to students. So we want you, if you're thinking that you're going to work, you're going to need to work when you come to Canada. It's a great opportunity for you to find employment that's convenient because it's right here on campus. And again, it'll help you to make connections and form a community here at York. So of course, these are all paid employment opportunities, anywhere from our minimum wage, which is in the $17 an hour range, up to $24, $25 an hour, depending on the nature of the work. The best part, one of the best parts about work study is that it's a manageable workload. We cap the number of hours that a work study student can work to 15 hours during the fall winter. Though there are full-time employment opportunities through work study over the summer session. So typically, if you get hired into a work study position, you will let your hiring manager or the hiring unit know what your class schedule is, and they will build those work hours around those class schedules. Because many of the employment opportunities are within our administrative offices and we are largely open, Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, it means that you would be free during your weekends and during your evenings to do your studies or to pursue other interests. So it also is great in that respect. So the work study program is, in terms of applying to the program, there is a two-pronged approach to that. I'm having trouble moving my slides. There we go. So for international students, you do have to, of course, be a full-time student, which is a requirement anyways of your study permit. You must have a valid study permit, and there must be conditions on that study permit that permit you to work in Canada. So you're going to fill out a work study application if you just check the work study site, you'll see the link to the application. That is just going to, again, assess those components. So it's going to check your course enrollment. We ask that you submit a copy of your study permit for our review, just so we can make sure that you've satisfied those conditions. And again, it'll check to make sure you've met that minimum 9 credit requirement. The second stage is really just applying to the positions the same way you would apply for any job that you're applying to. So all of the positions are available on 2 sites. Our RAY positions are available on our Career Center job posting site. And that is because you need to see a little bit more with the RAY positions. You need to see the nature of the research experience, what the research is that is being done, and the types of skills that you'll need to be able to work in that type of environment. So on the Career Center site, you can filter and search for jobs by the job type. So you can actually look for RAY and it'll present to you any RAY opportunities that are currently available and information on how to apply. So you'll create a profile on the Career Center site. You can upload your resume and a cover letter, and then you can apply directly to those positions, and you will be contacted directly by the faculty member or the graduate student who's leading that project to go through a recruitment process. For our other job opportunities, LEAP and Work Study, those are actually found on the York University career site. So the same place where myself or any of my colleagues would go to see what opportunities are available for us, you will be able to see the Work Study and LEAP positions listed there. So if you go to the career site, to our career site, it's the same thing. You're going to create a profile. You'll be able to upload your resume and your cover letter, and then you can search for the available opportunities. So this is just a glimpse of what the site looks like, the York University Employee Career Portal. If you go on the left-hand navigation site, you can see there is a tool, search tool, where you can see the opportunities that are available, and you can see Work Study LEAP and Work Study are 2 of the options. So if you just solely want to see those positions, you can filter and find them. And if you go into them, you'll see more details again on how to submit your application and what the position entails. Many of the work study positions, when we hire a good student, we've gotten them trained and gotten them working effectively in our office. As long as they maintain eligibility, quite often that student will continue to be employed in that position, through the years that they're here at York University. Many of the full-time staff, including myself, I am a York graduate from many years ago. I won't say how long ago that was. But I also worked as a work study student in my time as a student here at York. So the program is a well-established program. It's been around a long time, and it's been the stepping stone for many of us that are working here at the university currently. And, it just is a wonderful way to supplement what you're doing in the classroom also in terms of the skill development that you're going to get through those jobs. So the next thing, and I believe the final thing I'm going to talk to you about is about your student account and what that looks like. So you would have, if you've accepted your offer and you've done your enrollment, that means you have Passport York access, which means that you can see your student accounts online through your Passport York. So we do not issue paper invoices. Everything that is related to your student account, you will see online. Every month, as I've indicated, you will receive like an email that says your monthly bill is now available for you to view. You will log in through your Passport York and you will see your monthly statement. So for the winter, as I've indicated, the tuition will be due on January the 10th. On the invoice, you will see all relevant transactions, so any course adds and drops. If by chance you're living in residence, your residence or meal plan charges, all of that will be reflected on the student account statement, your health plan charges, etc. Everything will be on the student account statement. If you are making payments to the university from outside of the country, we have partnerships with CIBC and Convera for you to make your payments. You've likely used them to make your deposits, so you may be familiar with them. Once you're here in Canada, you can make your payments through your financial institution. So again, I've mentioned about setting up a bank account here in Canada. When you do that, you can make payments directly to the university through online banking, through the bank, with York University as the payee or the company that you're making the payment to. And your York reference number, which is your York student number, would be the account number that you'll make the payment to. The payments, as I mentioned, are due the 10th of each month. After the January 10th payment due date, any outstanding balance on the account will be subject to a late fee. So we do charge a monthly late fee at a rate of 1.09%. So we obviously encourage you to pay as much as you can by the January 10th due date to avoid having any kind of late fees applied to your account. And at a certain point in the academic year, if the balance is not below a certain threshold, we do place an enrollment block on your account. So we're not going to withdraw you from any courses that you're in. You're not at risk of, being pulled out of any of your current courses, but the block would prevent you from adding any new courses. So if you are, for example, thinking about taking courses for summer, the summer enrollment window will open typically in March. If you have a balance outstanding in excess of $3,500 as an international student at the time when the enrollment window opens for the summer session, you would be blocked from adding any winter courses. Okay, so the threshold for international students is $3,500. You must have your balance below that to be able to continue to add courses. Okay. The other thing, and I haven't spoken too much about it, is the health plan. So all international students all students in general, and all full-time students are automatically entered into a health plan, which you are charged for. So the charge for the York Federation of Students health plan is $259. And then there is the UHIP, the International Health Plan, which is another charge. I believe it's $756. So you will see these charges also reflected on your student account statement. They are mandatory. You cannot opt out of those plans. And so you can expect to see those. If you have any questions related to your student account, the main point of contact is Student Support and Advising. The office is located in the Bennett Center for Student Services here on the Keele campus. You can come in and see somebody in person if you'd like, but there are other options also available to you. So we do have a call center. So you can call 872 York to speak to a representative by phone. You can email rscheck@yorku.ca. If you are sending an email, we ask that you provide your name and your York reference number with your question so that we can make sure that we are answering your question appropriately and we can take a look at your account if needed. If you have specific awards related questions, you can email my team directly at bursary@yorku.ca, and we would be happy to assist you there. And also on the Student Support and Advising site, at certain times of the year, they have a chat option available. So if you look at the site and you see the chat box there, that means there's somebody available who can also address your questions through the chat. There's many ways to get support with any of your financial questions. So I'm going to leave it there. We'll move on to the next part of the presentation. I will be here for the Q&A. So if you have any questions that have come up during the course of my presentation, I'll be happy to address them when we get to the Q&A section. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for the insightful presentation on financial expectations and scholarship aid for international students. Now, I'd like to shift our focus to the various tips available to help students, especially international students, manage their finances in Toronto. My team and I have put together a list of practical money saving tips that have been valuable to us throughout our years living in Canada. And just a quick reminder, please continue to submit your questions using the Q&A feature. Additionally, while we are providing links to student discounts in the chat, York International does not endorse or take liability for any of these websites or offers. It is the student's responsibility to use these resources with caution. One of the biggest concerns for both international students and residents in general is the high cost of food. A key tip that most people already know but often overlook is that cooking at home can save a significant amount of money. For example, a standard fast food meal costs around $20, but with the same amount, you could purchase essentials such as a carton of eggs, bag of milk, a loaf of bread, and some fresh vegetables. Cooking at home not only saves money but also allows you to control the ingredients, making your meals healthier. Of course, it's okay to treat yourself to a meal out, especially during special occasions or when you're too busy studying for exams. However, for day-to-day meals, grocery shopping is the more cost-effective choice. While grocery shopping, always check flyers for deals and compare prices between stores. Many grocery stores offer reward programs, so downloading their apps can help you accumulate points for discounts. Budget-friendly grocery stores commonly visited by students in Canada include No Frills, Freshco, Food Basics, and Walmart. These stores provide a wide range of affordable food options without compromising quality. Now, before making a purchase, whether it's a museum ticket, a streaming service subscription, or a transportation pass, always check if there's a student discount available. Many businesses in Toronto offer discounts for students, so always carry a student ID with you. Here are some popular student discounts. First up, for entertainment. Many museums, cinemas, concerts, and parks offer student discounts or free admission on certain days. Then, coming to transportation, you will probably use public transportation to travel around in Toronto a lot. Luckily, public transit in Toronto offers student discounts, helping you save compared to taxis or ride-sharing apps. And then we have online subscriptions. Platforms such as YouTube Premium, Spotify, Netflix, Grammarly, and Uber One provide student discount plans as well. And then talking about our student union, which is the York Federation of Students, they offer discount on fun experiences such as NBA game tickets and theme park admissions as well. So make sure to check them out. Sometimes we can get overwhelmed with a lot of stuff to buy. For example, friends' birthday presents, new phones to treat ourselves after a hard semester, or just essential school supplies such as textbooks that your professors will waste 75% of the test on, or furniture to make your new room feel cozy and comfortable. All these purchases can add up and get out of hands easily. However, we have found a way to mitigate that burden. Plan your purchases firstly. If it's not urgent, wait for big sales like Black Friday or Boxing Day, which are holidays we celebrate in Canada, to get the best deals on expensive items. Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving, which is the last Friday of November and is a major shopping day in North America. While Boxing Day, which falls on December 26th, is a post Christmas shopping holiday, particularly popular in Canada. And the second tip is we can buy secondhand stuff. If you don't need certain items brand new, consider thrifting or purchasing secondhand items such as textbooks or furniture. And then you can try to sell them to someone else after you no longer need them. Now, while saving money is quite important, certain purchases like winter clothing are for sure worth the investment. Winter in Canada can get, well, I would put it very cold. However, it's all part of the experience, and with good quality winter clothes, your winter experience in Canada will be enjoyable. We recommend waiting until you do arrive in Canada to buy winter clothing, as stores here offer items specifically designed for the Canadian climate. Although they may be more expensive, high quality winter gear can last for years. What I find here is that the snow is not cold, but it's usually the wind that makes the weather a bit harsh. A good winter jacket can protect you from both the wind and the snow. And one more thing, I had never heard of such a thing as black ice before I came here. Black ice is a thin, nearly transparent layer of ice that forms on surfaces like roads, sidewalks, and driveways, making it difficult to see and extremely dangerous because it can cause vehicles and pedestrians to lose traction. Buying a good pair of winter boots can prevent you from slipping on ice as well. So all in all, good quality winter clothes are worth the purchase. Now, staying active doesn't have to be expensive. York University offers free or low cost fitness and wellness resources. First up, speaking about fitness, York has three gyms, multiple studios for yoga and dance classes, and opportunities for intramural sports. Fitness classes including yoga, dance, and spin are also available. All of these are included in the $25 package per year for students. This is extremely good because subscriptions to the gym studios here outside of the university can be extremely pricey. And then we have cooking classes as well. York's Teaching Kitchen hosts free cooking classes with a registered dietitian and an on campus executive chef. You can also explore new recipes through the Fuel Cookbook and Value program. All of this can be found in the link drop below. Now, the most important coming to mental health support. Adjusting to life in Canada as an international student can be overwhelming, but York provides free walk-in and virtual counseling sessions, support groups, and various health and wellness workshops as well. All the resources mentioned can be found in the link provided in the chat, and by using these strategies, you can manage your finances effectively while maintaining a balanced and fulfilling student life at York University. We have a resource guide that tells you exactly the name of these stores, the places, the services that offer student discounts, and how much discounts they offer. These resources guides, along with the recording of this presentation, will be uploaded to the pre-arrival program website. I know that was quite a lot of information, and we hope you had the opportunity to learn about some expectations of the cost of living in Canada and some discounts to support international students. We will now open the floor to any questions you may have. Please use the Q&A feature to submit your questions, and we will address them accordingly. And while I wait for everyone to type in their questions, I'd like to go over a few common questions we received in the previous webinars. These might address some concerns you haven't thought of yet, and hopefully they'll give you some additional insights as well. So now I'll start us off with our first question, which is the deposit fee deducted from the tuition fee or paid separately?
Yeah, any deposit that you are required to pay would be automatically applied towards any balance that's on the student account. So you will see that when you look at your transactions or look at your student account statement, you will see the balance has been deducted by the amount that was paid for the deposit.
Perfect. Thank you, Karen. The next question we have is, oh, can my deposit fee be deducted from my scholarship?
No, unfortunately, if you are required to pay an enrollment deposit, which it applies largely to undergraduate students, that deposit is mandatory and required of all students, regardless of whether you are receiving a scholarship or not.
Thank you. The next question we have is, how do I pay my tuition fee?
So again, if you're paying from outside of the country, we do have a platform set up or partnerships with CIBC and Convera to make those payments. If with you are paying within Canada, we actually do not accept any payments here at York University directly. So there is no office where you would be able to go in and make a payment with your bank card or your credit card, etc. All payments are made through financial institutions. So typically you would do it through online banking the same way that you would pay any bill that you're doing through online banking, with York University being the company that you're making the payment to, and your 9-digit student number being your unique account number. But that's how you would make any payments to the university. So we just ask you to be mindful of the due dates and remember that any payment you're making through the bank can take typically around 2 business days to process before it hits your student account. So just to keep that in mind when you're making payments through your online banking.
Perfect. Thank you. And the final question we have for today is, does York offer employment opportunities for students on campus?
Yeah, so as mentioned, for undergraduate students, and I know we had a question from a student who's a graduate student. I'm not as familiar with graduate employment opportunities. Many of our graduate students have funding packages that it would sometimes entail teaching assistantship or graduate assistance, which is paid employment opportunities. So I've suggested to that individual that they reach out to their faculty or to the Faculty of Graduate Studies for information about what opportunities might be available to them. We have a formal program through the work study program, but there's also, we have essentially a mall on campus. There are other opportunities that exist even outside of our work study program for employment on campus. So if you check on York's job posting site, you will see the opportunities that are available through the LEAP and the work study program. There may also be other contractual employment opportunities available through that site that are available to students.
Perfect. Thank you, Karen. We do have another question in the chat. They are asking, is there a specific bank to open an account with, or any bank in Canada can do? Can I open the account before I arrive, or I must be present? I will be arriving on December 26th.
I'm not as familiar. I don't know if you have any more information. I believe you will need to go in person to the bank. You probably need to present identification, etc., to be able to open the account. So I don't believe you would be able to do it prior to your arrival. But if anybody at York International can speak to that, feel free to jump in.
Um, I think like me being a student myself, I did have to go in person and make an account and provide them with my study permit, my passport, and as you said, all the valid identification and documents. So
Mhm.
I'm not certain, but as for me and the most cases I know, I think you do have to be there in person.
Right. I believe that's correct. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you for those amazing questions. Since we have no more questions for now, we will now take a quick look at few of our upcoming webinars and events. You may continue to use the Q&A feature if you have any questions during this portion of the webinar as well. Just a small reminder, all the links for registration will be placed in the chat as well. First up, we have Global Connect. If you are excited to start your journey at York and you're wondering how to fun activities, great vibes, and the perfect chance to make friends and start building your community before the term even begins. Next up, we also have a study permit application support session. If you're ready to start your journey to Canada, join York International's licensed immigration advisors for an expert-led session that breaks down the study permit process and helps you avoid common mistakes and sets you up for success. And finally, we have our Defining Admissions webinar. If you're thinking of deferring your admission, it could be a smart move, but only if you do it right. Join this session to find out how a deferral affects your permit, what deadlines matter, and how to keep everything IRCC compliant. Stay in control, stay informed, and stay on track for your Canadian journey. And don't let a delay derail you. Here we have our events calendar that can tell you about the dates and times of other webinars we have coming up, as well as our drop-in appointments with our immigration advisors and virtual sessions as well, and you will be able to register for all of them directly through the calendar. And before we wrap up, we like to encourage everyone to stay connected with us through our social media channels. By following us, you'll receive important updates, event announcements, and opportunities to engage with the York community. And before we end today's webinar, I'll take a quick look at the chat to see if we have any more questions. And oh, looks like we have no more questions. So thank you all again for attending, and we're looking forward to seeing you at our future webinars and events.